So Dana White has come out and said eventually these two are going to end up fighting again, I'm sure. But we're not thinking about an immediate rematch right now. Now, with Israel Adesanya already posting on every single social media platform that he's coming back soon, I already am thinking that they're going to be making Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya in South Africa. While I do think that fight between Dricus and Izzy is a lock, I do want to talk about another possible matchup that could happen depending on what happens in the future. For instance, if Israel Adesanya somehow doesn't end up coming back, the most likely and most deserving candidate to fight Dricus Du Plessis is Jared Cannonier, because Jared Cannonier is coming off of 2 wins and no one else in the top 5 is. Plus, I don't think the fight between Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa will even happen, let alone whoever wins to fight for the belt. Another one that's very interesting is Alex Pereira moving back down to middleweight to fight Dricus Du Plessis. Do I think it'll happen? Not if Israel Adesanya is coming back, but if Israel Adesanya comes back and wins and then they set up, no. We aren't going to think about that. You stay focused. And one that I just absolutely find hilarious, not likely to happen whatsoever, is Dricus Du Plessis versus Marvin Vettori, because why not, right? Anyway, usually I would be like they're fumbling the bag because Sean Strickland is clearly getting up there in popularity. A lot of people love him right now. And if they were to set up an immediate rematch and Sean Strickland is somehow to win the belt back, y'all could probably shoot this man to global superstardom. But that's not the case for this one because Israel Adesanya just so happens to be Sean Strickland's replacement. And Israel Adesanya is bigger. And a fight with him and Dricus already has some beef behind it, a storyline. Then you could possibly make that fight in South Africa. It'd be huge. So I'm not saying that they're like as dumb as a kid putting on a backpack that's spilling out money and walking through a broke neighborhood. I am saying the exact opposite. How do you guys feel about this though? Do you think they should be doing an immediate rematch, or are you okay with them going a different path? Let me know. So I saw this on Twitter today. This was Dricus Du Plessis after the Whittaker fight and Dricus Du Plessis after the Sean Strickland fight. And oh my goodness, if you saw the things people were saying because of this image right here, both of these. Something you guys on Twitter need to realize is styles make fight. What you're supposed to collect from this is that Robert Whittaker style does not do well against Dricus style, but Sean Strickland style, it does great against Dricus Du Plessis style. And then this begs the question, how is Israel Adesanya style going to stack up against Dricus style? Because if we were to go back to the past and look at people who are all right on the feet, but if they can take you down, they're good down there. We're literally talking about Israel Adesanya versus the Marvin Vettori 2.0 right here. I made a joke about seeing Dricus versus Marvin Vettori in my last video, because it's literally Marvin Vettori versus Marvin Vettori 2.0. And to be completely honest with y'all, I don't think Israel Adesanya makes it, especially if Israel Adesanya comes with this leg kicking, keep my back to the fence kind of game plan like he always likes to do. That's not going to work against someone who wrestles. This man is struggling against Marvin Vettori and y'all think he won't struggle against Dricus? Get out of here. May I remind y'all, Israel Adesanya also struggled against a smaller Robert Whittaker, who decided this time he's going to mix it up against Israel Adesanya and shoot for takedowns. He shot for 4 of them. And just because of those 4 takedowns, he could hang with Israel Adesanya. And we saw how the first fight went when Robert Whittaker decided he's going to just stand up with him. Now, I know MMA math doesn't work, but if this fight were to be made and it was a Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya, I'm putting my money, if I were a betting man, on Dricus Du Plessis. Israel Adesanya is a great fighter, an amazing fighter, but he does not do well against people who can mix the game up against him. And if you got the cardio to keep that pace up, oh my goodness, get out of here. I don't know how much more Dricus has to do for y'all to stop sleeping on him because he had a close fight with Sean Strickland, but maybe one day y'all will learn. Maybe Dricus beating Israel Adesanya is what y'all need to finally wake up that Dricus is not just some scrub and because he moves weird. The best chance that you have against beating Dricus is to be a specialist like a Khamzat Chimaev, where he has to hope that he beats Dricus within the first 2 rounds, because if Dricus survives those 2 rounds, Khamzat's dying in those next 3. Sean Strickland in a rematch could possibly beat him as well, but I think Dricus' worst nightmare in the entire division, at least off the top of my head, is Ikram Aliskerov. What do y'all think though? What do y'all think about this image right here? And what do y'all think this means? And what did you get from it? And what do you think about what I said? Let me know. Well, let all the call outs begin. Alex Pereira called out Dricus Du Plessis saying, "I dare you. It would be an honor sharing the cage with you." I would like to see this fight. Alex Pereira could definitely be the person to knock Dricus out. I've already touched on this, but Dricus has so many humongous fights that he can make so much money off of lined up if he plays his cards right. Alex Pereira and Dricus Du Du Plessis that could sell a bunch. Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Need I even explain that? No. In a Sean Strickland rematch, Sean Strickland has been, well, he's been getting humongous as of late. And then another guy who's just been calling people out for, I don't even know how long at this point, Khamzat Chimaev, who's been going on this Dana White promised me stuff. Well, in my opinion, I don't think you should be getting a title shot off of beating Kamaru Usman on short notice, a former 170er moving up to 185. I mean, I don't think you would have even deserved it if you beat Paulo Costa, but at least if you beat Paulo Costa, you could say you've actually beaten a middleweight. But I can't blame that on you. We know Paulo Costa is horrible at making it to fight, and if he does make it to the fight, he probably misses weight on the way. But either way, in my eyes, it seems like someone undeserving is going to get this next title shot, because the only deserving contender right now is Jerry Cannonier, because nobody else in the top 5 has beaten anyone. They're all coming off of losses besides Jarrett. This is the list I would go with. I would say first, the rematch with Sean Strickland, because that fight was so razor thin that you could do a rematch and I doubt anybody would complain. We know the press conference would be amazing because Sean Strickland just has that kind of personality. Second is Jerry Cannonier, because he's the most deserving of any middleweight right now. Third, I would probably say Alex Pereira, just because he's coming off of wins and he's a champion right now. Fourth would be Israel Adesanya, because not only is he coming off of a loss, he's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. And the very last is Khamzat Chimaev, because he's still new to middleweight. He could have the welterweight title shot, yeah, but he fought Gilbert Burns and said, forget it, I'm gonna go call people out on Twitter and move to middleweight. We already saw what a Kamaru Usman on short notice had a new weight class almost did to him. If he would have fought Kamaru in his prime at 170, Khamzat Chimaev would have been destroyed. You can't change my mind. Prime Kamaru Usman does horrible things to Khamzat. Heck, the Kamaru Usman now destroys Khamzat, especially if he's at his normal weight class. Anyway, what do y'all think about this? Who do y'all think deserves the next title shot? Let me know. Well, just when I thought I was done talking about Dricus Du Plessis for a while, I opened up Twitter and I see that he is available to headline UFC 300 per his manager. Now the question becomes, who will he headline against? And I have 3 people in mind. Because they have to be big fights if they're going to headline UFC 300, it has to either be Alex Pereira, Khamzat Chimaev, or Israel Adesanya. There is no in between. Now, personally, I think they're going to go the Israel Adesanya direction, but I don't know if Israel Adesanya will be ready, but we don't know much about Israel Adesanya besides the fact that he said he's coming back soon. It could be Alex Pereira, and if Alex Pereira comes out and beats another champion and becomes champion, like, what is this guy's career if this happens? I promise, once Alex Pereira is gone, his career is going to feel like a freaking fever dream. Bro came in the UFC and was like, mine, thank you, and then left. Please tell me nobody wants to see Khamzat Chimaev fight Du Plessis at UFC 300. I don't want to see it. I don't think he deserves it. I'm going to stand on this hill. I will die on this hill. He does not deserve to fight for the belt. Anyway, what do y'all think about this news? Who do you think Dricus Du Plessis will headline against if he is to headline? Do you even think he deserves a headline? Let me know.